It's another episode of Wednesday Wellness Newsletter. I'm super glad that you are popping on over to the video. And if you happen to be coming across this just on accident, I am Laurel Kelsey. What we have going on here is my video feed for this newsletter that I put out every week. And I am a functional nutrition counselor and a trauma-informed movement specialist. And what I specialize in is helping people with chronic illness to take back control of their health so they can finally enjoy life again and escape the chronic pain and the inflammation and just the overwhelm that comes with feeling sick all the time. I've been there, I know what that feels like, and I am now here and feeling great and cannot wait to continue to share everything I've learned with everybody, whether you are on my email list already and that's why you're here, or if you're coming across me, I hope you will jump on and join me. If you are just coming across me for the first time, before I move on, I just don't want to forget, I do have a free ebook. It is my top 10 recommendations for decreasing stress and improving your mental health, which of course we know stress comes along with chronic illness. They're kind of like Siamese twins. So if you want that, you can just drop down into the description and there should be a link there for you to go grab that ebook. And then you'll be able to get the newsletters every week also if you want to. Okay. So let's just pop right on in to the newsletter. Basically, I'm just reading the newsletter as much as I can, and so you can listen to it instead of read it if that's what's better for you. Can you believe that we are already at Wednesday again? I hope that you have done something this week to move the needle forward in your health, because let me tell you, you cannot get back last week, and next week is coming faster than we all know, right? It's just, I cannot believe how fast time goes and it can just get away from us. So let's jump into the topic. The topic that we are going to discuss today is how to unpack a nutrition label, but I have a little bit I want to tell you about it before we jump into the nitty-gritty. So just hold on and we'll get there. This week, to just kind of give you where this came from, why I decided to do this week. This week, I have been reevaluating my commitments because my stress levels have really been higher than normal lately. And again, if you don't know, high stress levels, unmanaged stress levels, they're one of the highest triggers for chronic inflammation and pain and sickness. So we definitely want to get on top of managing our stress. And lately I have just found that I'm filling up my schedule so much with, by the way, all these things are good things, but it's just been too much. And so I've decided it's time to say goodbye to some of my commitments, and that hopefully will allow me to be able to show up better where I feel like the Lord wants me to serve. And lucky for you, right here is where I am meant to be. So I still am going to be right here educating and supporting you through the newsletter, the YouTube education that we're doing now, because some of you wanted to have a YouTube feed instead of reading the newsletter. I, of course, have my private coaching, so private functional nutrition and wellness counseling that you can always sign up for. And I am in the process of developing some group support programs for you, and maybe for someone that you love. And one of the first ones that's on my brain that I'm thinking maybe is to reach out for my moms in crisis whose families have mental illness. And I think maybe that will be where I go next. So see. So thinking about all of that, it's really easy to say yes, right? Yes to all the things in life. But especially if we're not feeling good, this doesn't create a healthy healing environment to always be saying yes to everything and just needing to pretend that we're doing okay. And definitely doesn't support a healing environment at all when you have chronic illness. And chronic illness, if you're here, most likely you don't feel good a lot. Maybe you're feeling like a hot mess and you're just ready for that to change. So let's talk about what can be supportive to a healthy healing environment by going back to something really, really basic. And that's what I touched on at the very beginning, unpacking our nutrition labels and going back to using food as our medicine, one of our most basic medicines that we use. Food can be very healing if we use it the right way. And one of the most helpful ways to do that is to learn how to read your labels so you are very conscious of what you're putting in your mouth. It's crucial to be aware of that you're picking it. So in my house, it's super, super common. I don't know if you have kids or not, but I have some kids, and it's common in our house for us to look at nutrition labels because it's just something that I've done with my kids always growing up. And, and ask them, go look at the nutrition label. If they want something at the store, look at it, look for these things, X, Y, Z, let me know, and then we can talk about it. And about a week or so ago, it was my 13-year-old who decided that he was finally wanting to hop on this train and look more at nutrition labels also. He has some of his own personal health goals that he decided he wanted to work on, and that's where he turned to first. So that's what got me thinking, I wonder if we need to go over nutrition labels actually, okay? So my son has become an avid nutrition label reader now, and he's just been totally shocked at what he's starting to find. I'm frequently getting questions like, Mom, did you know that there's this much sugar in whatever, or that there's trans fats in this, those type of questions. So my question for you is, do you check labels? Are you a label checker at the grocery store? And even maybe more important, when you check those labels, do you know how to interpret them? So ideally, in a perfect world, we're growing our own food, raising our own meats, right? Our own animals to eat. But and we have no need for a grocery store if that was like the perfect case, but that's not the situation for most of us. It's not the situation for me. So what can we do when we're not perfectly in charge of our food chain, right? And can you notice the sun just started going down a little bit? My colors are changing a little bit on the camera, so sorry about that if it's looking weird for you now. But we're going to become label readers, and that will help you to make better choices at the grocery store, because often you'll be surprised, maybe not, but often I think we have this idea that healthier food is more expensive. Sometimes it's more expensive, but not always. Often it's maybe the same price and sometimes cheaper. So it is important that we learn how to read labels, and this may be the perfect first step for you that helps to manage your journey on your way back to bringing healing and to your body, welcoming that healing in. So what I want you to do is pause this video and go pull something out of your pantry that has a label on it. So I'm going to be using this box right here. We're going to be looking at a label right here. I'm not techie enough yet to know how to get the labels up for you to look at on the video. Sometime maybe, but not today. I just want you to get through this information. On the email list, if you go back in the newsletter, you can find a link to the Food and Drug Administration put out a really nice article on how to read it. So you can go there and read it also. But if you want me to teach you how to do it, you need to probably go grab a box. So pause, and when you have it, come back and then push play again, okay? All right, so let's just jump right into some of the things. So why do we learn to read nutrition labels? Most important is just because we need to know what is in our products, and that helps us make a better decision about if we actually want to participate in this food coming into our body, right? Especially when we're in this healing stage or thinking about what are the things that we're in control of that can help us to feel better. And this is a great place to start. So a couple of things that just right off the top that I want to, actually, let me back up. Let's just go right to the label. So on the label, you should be able to see, it should look, I know it's backwards for you and I'm sorry, but you can see here, it says nutrition facts, and there's some information up here about servings and serving size, and then your calories, okay? So if you look right under the nutrition facts, it's gonna tell you how many servings there are. And then the serving size is half a cup, or for me, that says half a cup and 30 grams, and it says 8 servings per container. So that would mean that if I ate the whole entire box, it would actually be 4 cups of food that I am eating. But if I just eat 1 serving, which is right here, it would be half a cup. So if you're counting your macros, or you're just trying to be more aware of what you're eating and you're measuring your food out, you would measure a half a cup out of this from this box. And then you would know that in that box, you go down just a little bit farther, and in that half a cup, you have 150 calories, okay? And now we can go down more and learn, well, what's happening inside those calories. Okay, so the first thing you have is your total fat. So you can find it on your label here. And again, sorry that it's backwards on the video here. Your total fat, and then saturated fat, and now the new guidelines to have saturated fat on there. So this is really important. You're looking to have 0 saturated fat in anything that you eat. So you definitely want to avoid that. Lower saturated fat is a good idea too, but we are way more concerned about if there's trans fats in there, okay? And then your total fat, so how many grams of total fat are in there. And if you're looking for the calories, all you would do is 7 grams times 9, and that would give you, or whatever number you have. Mine says 7 grams. Whatever number you have of the total fat, multiply it by 9, and that would tell you how many calories of fat are in that particular one serving, not in the whole box, but just in the one serving. And then you float down and you'll see cholesterol and sodium. Okay, so these things right here, these, when they're too high, can create potential havoc inside the body. So if you look, there's percentages down along the side, and this is a percentage out of, it's called your percent daily value. And so percent daily value is how much percentage of your total calories for the day would this equal out to, and based on 2,000 calories per day. Okay, so this, mine, for example, says 7 grams. It's 10% of, so 10% of the recommended, oh, there we go with my lights again. Sorry, I'll get better at this. I'm sure I will. So 10% of that total daily value recommended is sitting right in that one serving, half a cup, okay? And then same thing with cholesterol and sodium. So you're really looking on your cholesterol and sodium. It would be, you want to make sure that you're not having anything that says 20% or higher. That would be a no-go for you to put down the product and go look for a different one. And then you have your carbohydrates. That's right below it. Let's see if I can come a little bit closer. I know it's backwards, I'm sorry. So you have your total carbohydrates, you have your fiber right below it, and this one unfortunately is really low in fiber. We would love to see more fiber in there. And total sugars, and then added sugars. So I want to talk about the difference. So total sugars is whatever sugars are naturally occurring in the product. So say there was juice or fruit or a sugar inside wheat, for example. It has a carbohydrate in it that has sugars in it, naturally occurring. So there might be some in there, but also includes added sugar. So if you want to just know how much added sugar there is, then you need to look at the added sugar line. So that would be most common right now is GMO beet cane sugar that came to the market about 2005, March 2005, I think. And then there's cane sugar. If it's cane sugar down in the ingredients list, it will actually say cane sugar. That is a better option between the two. It's not genetically modified. And so it's the more we can avoid genetically modified when we're thinking about trying to heal the body, we're trying to put less impact on the body that the body has to take care of. So cane sugar is more recognizable, more back to the roots of it just is what it is cane sugar. So it's good to find cane sugar instead of just sugar. If it says just sugar, most likely it's beet sugar, not cane sugar. Okay, and so the total sugars is anything naturally occurring plus the added sugars, and then the added sugars is just any extra added sugar that's not naturally occurring. And then right below that, you'll have your protein. Okay, my protein says 3 grams. And if you wanted to know how many calories, that actually meant 3 grams times 4, or whatever number you have of grams, times 4 will give you the calorie amount. And that's the same for carbohydrates. So my box here of these, so I have organic cheddar snacks from Annie's. And the carbohydrates say 18 grams on it, right across total carbohydrates, 18 grams. So if for some reason I was wanting to know the calories, then 18 grams times 4 would give me the calorie amount for there. And then I have some nutrients below it: vitamin D, calcium, iron, potassium, Would love to see these in the higher range, right? Above 20. And just as a reminder, going back and with the sodium and cholesterol, looking for those to be below 5%. That would be a better option. And you can go back and look in that document from the Food and Drug Administration at that great article they wrote to get more details and follow up on that. So then I think maybe we get down to one of the most important places, which is the ingredient list. In here, you want to be able to understand what the ingredients are. If you don't understand what the ingredients are, then it might just be a laundry list of a lot of additives and preservatives. For me, when I buy any type of product like this for my kids, usually I try really hard. Sometimes I don't win, and that's okay because I don't want my kids to have a poor relationship with food. But most of the time I try to do organic wheat because it is not sprayed with glyphosate, and I think I said that wrong still. I'll have to look it up. I think I said it wrong. Anyway, the important thing is that it's not sprayed with some of the most heavy pesticides. So it's, again, less for the body to process, less for the liver, less chance of those chemicals coming in and breaking up the lining of the gut wall. And so I go for organic whenever I can if there's wheat. One thing I don't love that's in here is vegetable oil. And vegetable oil or seed oils have the potential to be very inflammatory for your body. If they're cooked, they have that chance that they're getting past their boiling or their smoke point, which can create some oxidation problems in your body that your body has to deal with. But also the process that those oils go through is very manufactured, very processed, sometimes using like gases to pull out the oils. And so I would prefer to find products whenever possible that have coconut oil in them, or grass-fed butter, ghee, avocado oil. These oils are less extra virgin olive oil. They're less what am I trying to say? The process they go through to get from farm to table is way less manufactured. And so that is important to me. And then I just continue to go through to make sure that I'm happy with it. You can see there is quite a few. This is probably a pretty long list, laundry list here. There are some things I do recognize pretty much everything in there, so I'm not worried, but it does have additives in it. It has some sugars in it. And but the good thing is that it has organic cane sugar instead of the beet sugar, so that's good. And I don't really see too many preservatives, artificial preservatives, and no artificial colors in it. So that is really important to me for my family, but also for me with Hashimoto's and dealing with lots of inflammation all the time. I just want to decrease the load as much as possible on my body, and hopefully you will do that too. So other things you could be looking for, again, it maybe won't tell you in the label that there's any trans fats, depending on the amount that there's in there, but you might be able to find it down in the ingredients. So if there are trans fats in here but not listed up here, because it can still have trans fats in it and be a small enough amount that they don't have to put it up in this part. So you're looking for hydrogenated or partially hydrogenated oils to tell you that there are trans fats in your box. And so that's a no-go. You want to leave that alone and put it back and get something else. And then lots of different artificial preservatives are out there. So I'll let you go and you can do a quick Google search on what artificial preservatives are, because I want to wrap this up. I want to honor your time. I know it's been a few minutes and let you get back to your families. Let's see, I'm just making sure here that I touched on all the things that I wanted to point out. Yeah, okay, so reading the labels is really important. It's really great to be able to be the one in control of understanding what food you're allowing into your body and deciding if that is something that you're okay with or not. And if you are on a healing journey and you're sick of feeling tired and gross and you want your life back, you want your energy back, anything you can do to decrease the load on your body that the body has to take care of, the more it has energy to take care of the things that actually need to be addressed. So with that being said, processed food is still processed food, and our very best choices are to go whole foods. Oh, I am not very good at this. I have to keep working on this. Okay, whole foods is what we're looking for. And those are foods that don't need a label, like eggs, chicken, right? The chicken that doesn't have anything on it, just raw chicken, fruits and vegetables. They don't need a label because they just are, and those are always the best choices. And most likely they're always around the outside of the grocery store. So do your best to spend your money along the outside of the grocery store, around the perimeter, and then maybe bring a couple extra supportive things in from inside. The frozen food aisle is a good place to go too, but just be careful because sometimes they will add some extra things into their frozen, I'm talking like frozen fruits and vegetables. Just be careful, sometimes they do add extra things in there, like a lot of extra salt or something. So you want to be aware of that, but that's a good place to go. So around the perimeter and down the fruits and vegetables in the frozen area, and with your meat, the higher quality meat you can buy, the better also. So I'm gonna leave it there for now. Thank you so much for dropping in for the Wednesday Wellness newsletter, and just want to encourage you to remember that don't let another week go by without you starting to do something to move the ball forward to help you take control back of your health. Every single little baby step is worth celebrating, and it will help you to move that needle forward. And if it feels too overwhelming to you, that you just don't feel like you can do it on your own, maybe you're frustrated, the doctors are telling you that everything seems fine, but you know that it's not fine. I come at it at a different angle, looking to help to shift the terrain of your body, helping you to take back control using food and lifestyle management and gut support, inflammatory support, so that you can be in control of what you can be in control of. And there is a lot. So there's always hope that tomorrow can be better than today. And I just want to leave that with you. If you want a health consult or discovery session with me to just find out more about what I do and to tell me a little bit about what's going on and see if I have a program that's a good fit for you right now, I am here to help you. And I've been through a rough journey on my own, so I know what it feels like, and I'm super excited to help anyone who needs that extra support. So just look down in the description for a link to my booking calendar if that's something you want to do, to hop on and just have a quick chat, 15 or 20 minutes, just to find out more about each other. All right, thank you so much. If this is helpful, of course, subscribe to the channel and share it on your social media stories if you think it would help somebody else that you know. And I will see you